Americans who are legally traveling to Cuba should expect major disruptions because of the country's blackout crisis, according to officials. The U.S. Embassy in Havana said the country is currently experiencing a total power failure due to its electrical grid collapsing. The embassy said all U.S. citizens in Cuba or planning to travel to Cuba should be aware and plan accordingly. The latest outage marks Cuba's sixth nationwide grid failure of 2026, officials said, with 3 occurring in July alone. Residents are currently suffering from intense heat and a lack of air conditioning, with many sleeping outside near the water to escape the sweltering temperatures, the Associated Press reported. Sunday's highest temperature was 93 degrees Fahrenheit, though it felt like 106 degrees with the Caribbean's 80% humidity levels, per the AP. Though Cuba is by no means a tourism hotspot, it still attracts visitors from around the world, including Americans. U.S. law forbids any Americans to travel to Cuba for tourism purposes, though some visits are permitted under a dozen categories. The Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets controls OFAC says Americans may travel to Cuba for purposes including family visits, journalism, education, religious activities, humanitarian projects, and support for the Cuban people. In a previous travel advisory issued in May 2025, the State Department urged Americans traveling to Cuba to stay aware of your surroundings. Do not physically resist any robbery attempts, the advisor states. Do not display signs of wealth, such as expensive watches or jewelry. The advisor also referenced prolonged power outages and suggested Americans bring portable battery banks, as well as spare batteries and non-perishable food and water. Cuba has struggled with an aging electrical grid for years, with recurring fuel shortages contributing to repeated nationwide outages. Cuban officials have also blamed U.S. sanctions for exacerbating the country's energy crisis, though it's unclear what caused the latest blackout. The U.S. Embassy in Havana said, according to Cuban regime media, the reason for the collapse and the timeline to restore power is unknown.